You might remember Eek-A-Mouse as that wild, scatting reggae guy from the 80s, the one wearing crazy costumes and singing in this bizarre, playful voice. But then, he kinda disappeared from the spotlight. So, today we ask, what the hell happened to Eek-A-Mouse? In this video, I'll take you through his rise in reggae history, his controversies, his comebacks, and where he's at now. Whether you're a hardcore dancehall fan or just curious about this eccentric legend, stick around. Things get weird in a good way. Early life and beginnings. Ripton. Joseph Hilton, better known as Eek-A-Mouse, was born on November 19, 1957, in Kingston, Jamaica. Growing up in Kingston meant being steeped in the rich musical culture of reggae, ska, rocksteady, and the bustling sounds of sound system culture. From a young age, he was drawn to music. He sang with his mother as a child and performed in school for classmates. When he went to college, things started to feel like they were shifting. While he studied, he also recorded his first two roots reggae singles under his real name, Ripton Hilton. Those songs were produced by his mathematics tutor, Mr. D. Haney, which feels like the world's quirkiest origin story for a reggae legend. His early work showed strong influences from other reggae greats, particularly Pablo Moses. Alongside recording, Ripton began working with several Jamaican sound systems. He would spin between them, perform, test his voice, and sharpen his style, absorbing the energy of sound system DJs and the crowds they played for. Over time, his friends started calling him Eek-A-Mouse, but it was not for any mystical reason. It was the name of a racehorse he used to bet on. Apparently, he lost a lot, until one day, that very horse actually won, but he had not bet on it. His friends liked the name so much, they stuck with it. Eventually, he made it his stage name around 1979. That same year, he started recording for Joe Gibbs, a heavyweight in the reggae production world. His first big single under Gibbs's production was Once a Virgin, which already carried hints of the DJ and singjay styles. Shortly after, he released Wa Do Dem and Modeling Queen, the latter beginning a long relationship with producer Linval Thompson. What set Eek-A-Mouse apart from other artists was not just his voice, but how he used it. Rather than sticking to traditional singing or typical DJ toasting, he created a hybrid style, part melody, part rhythmic chatter, part improvisational scatting. This style would later be called singjay, and he is often credited it as one of its pioneers. And then there was his personality, the flashes of humor, his strange quirks, and his bold fashion sense. Even in his early years, he leaned into being a showman. According to interviews, he believed that performing was not just about music. People wanted to see him, in costumes, moving, doing something out of the ordinary. By the end of 1980, Eek-A-Mouse had made enough of a mark to start working with Henry Junjo Laws, one of Jamaica's most influential producers. This partnership would set him on the path to real fame in the next few years. But even in those early days, you could already sense his voice was going to be something different, maybe even legendary. Breakthrough and rise to fame.
Once Eek-A-Mouse was ready to step up, things started moving fast. After his early recordings, he linked up with big-time producers, and that's when the breakthrough really happened.
In 1979, he began recording for Joe Gibbs. His first major single under Gibbs was Once a Virgin, which showcased his playful vocal style and immediately got attention. Soon after, he dropped Wa Do Dem and Modeling Queen, produced by Linval Thompson. Both tracks turned heads in Jamaica. By 1980, Eek-A-Mouse teamed up with Henry Junjo Laws, a producer who would be instrumental in his rise. Under Laws' direction, Eek released a recut of Wa Do Dem and other hits like Virgin Girl. Backed by the legendary Roots Radix Band, his sound became tighter, more polished, but still bizarre in the best way. One of the most iconic moments came in 1981 at the Reggae Sunsplash Festival. Eek-A-Mouse's performance was electric. He brought a goofy, almost cartoonish energy with his bitty bitty bong bong, scatting that the audience roared back. That year, he released the Wa Do Dem album, which featured a mix of fun tunes and serious commentary. In 1982, his momentum kept building. He dropped a string of popular singles, Wild Like a Tiger, For Hire and Removal, Do You Remember, and perhaps most memorably, Ganja Smuggling. That same year, his second studio album, Wa Do Dem, came out, and it nailed down his status as a real force in reggae. But Eek wasn't just about playful scatting. he showed a serious side too. With Operation Eradication, he addressed the tragic killing of his friend and fellow DJ, Errol Shorter. This track proved that behind the wild voice was an artist who cared deeply about his community and wasn't afraid to tackle dark topics. As his fame spread, Eek-A-Mouse kept evolving. He released more albums and continued playing big shows. His style, half singing, half toasting, really stood out. He was not just another DJ, he was a pioneer, pushing into a new space in reggae. By combining melody, rhythmic chatter, and scatting, Eek created something fresh. His vocal quirks, like the biddy bong bong syllables, became his signature. Audiences couldn't help but gravitate toward him. He was entertaining both musically and visually. His stage presence was bold, flashy clothes, strange gestures, and a willingness to lean into the weird made him unforgettable. His rise wasn't just local. As his hits spread, so did his reputation abroad. He was not just a Jamaican act anymore. He was becoming internationally known. The way he melded humor, serious themes, and innovative vocals gave him an edge that few others had. In short, his breakthrough period was explosive. From clever, bizarre early singles to major hits produced by top names, Eek-A-Mouse carved out a totally unique niche in reggae. He didn't just follow the path, he made his own. Peak career and global influence. By the early to mid-1980s, Eek-A-Mouse was no longer just a niche act in Jamaica. He was a full-blown international reggae star. This was his peak era. Albums were flowing, crowds were growing, and his wild, playful voice had become his signature. He dropped a string of influential albums between 1980 and 1985, including Bubble Up You Hip, Wah Do Dem, Ski Dip, The Mouse and the Man, Assassinator, Mouseketeer, and The King and I. These records showed his versatility and creativity. He worked with top producers like Henry Junjo Laws and Linval Thompson, backed by the Roots Radics and other skilled musicians. One of his most defining traits was his singjay style. Rather than sticking to singing or toasting, he blended both, combining melody, rhythmic chatter, and scatting. That biddy bong bong scat became a hallmark of his, joyful, slightly odd, and instantly recognizable. His live performances solidified his fame. At Reggae Sunsplash, he delivered unforgettable shows, bringing a theatrical, high-energy style to the stage. International tours followed, taking him across the United States, the United Kingdom, Europe, and beyond. Eek-A-Mouse's albums during this period revealed his range. While many tracks were fun and lighthearted, others tackled serious themes. He could effortlessly shift from playful to socially conscious, keeping audiences engaged on multiple levels. His stage presence matched his music. Bold outfits, quirky gestures, and fearless showmanship made him impossible to ignore. As his music spread internationally, his influence expanded beyond Jamaica. He was no longer just a local artist. He became a figure recognized worldwide. His innovative vocal style influenced other performers, including beatboxers and artists experimenting with voice as an instrument. Eccentricity and humor were part of his appeal, making him memorable in both sound and image. By the late 1980s, albums like Eek-A-Mouse showcased his adaptability. He experimented with sounds that resonated in international club scenes while retaining his reggae roots. Later, a deal with Island Records helped him reach even larger audiences. Culturally, Eek-A-Mouse was more than a musician. His eccentric look and stage persona carried as much weight as his music. He fully embraced the role of performer, making his shows a visual and auditory spectacle. Many of his songs from this era are now considered classics. Compilations like Eek-Ology collect hits and deep cuts, illustrating the breadth of his work. From fun, silly tracks to serious, socially conscious songs, his catalog highlights why he stood out from his contemporaries. During his peak years, Eek-A-Mouse was not only a reggae singer, he was a pioneer, a performer, and a bridge between Jamaican sound system culture and global audiences. His unique voice, quirky energy, and bold persona made him unforgettable and left a lasting mark on reggae music. Controversies and public image. Even at the height of his fame, Eek-A-Mouse's career was not without drama. His eccentric style, both musically and visually, drew attention, and sometimes criticism. Fans loved him for being unpredictable and playful, but others saw his antics as bizarre or unprofessional. One early controversy involved his stage behavior. He often performed in costumes, sometimes completely outlandish, and improvised vocals that could confuse audiences unfamiliar with his style. While many embraced it as entertainment, critics occasionally mocked him for being too odd for mainstream appeal. His outspoken personality occasionally got him into trouble. Eek-A-Mouse didn't shy away from commenting on social and political issues. In his music tracks like Operation Eradication addressed violence in Kingston. But not everyone appreciated the message or the delivery. These songs sparked debates about the role of musicians in addressing societal problems, sometimes creating tension with industry figures or promoters. There were also stories about clashes with other artists. Dancehall in the 1980s could be competitive, and rivalries were common. While some of these were playful, others involved arguments over performance rights, song ownership, or recognition for innovation. Eek's unique style sometimes caused misunderstandings, with fellow artists questioning his approach or comparing him unfavorably to more conventional performers. Media coverage added to the perception of controversy. Interviews often highlighted his quirks and oddities, framing him as unpredictable. Some journalists described him as eccentric, while others suggested his career might be doomed because of his unconventional behavior. Eek-A-Mouse leaned into this attention, rather than shying away, embracing the role of a colorful, attention-grabbing figure in reggae culture. Despite the drama, fans remained fiercely loyal. His unusual vocal style and playful persona were part of his charm. Even when critics doubted him, audiences were drawn to his performances. This tension between public criticism and fan admiration became a defining feature of his public image. Another controversy revolved around his music videos and public appearances abroad. In certain countries, his flamboyant outfits and odd gestures confused audiences used to more straightforward reggae performers. Yet, these same traits helped him stand out, leaving lasting impressions that contributed to his global recognition. Eek-A-Mouse's public image was complex. He was simultaneously a serious artist and a performer who never took himself too seriously. This duality allowed him to innovate musically while remaining entertaining. Over time, what some called eccentric became part of his signature, shaping his identity in the music industry. In short, controversies and public perception played a major role in defining Eek-A-Mouse's career. They reflected both the challenges of being different and the power of being unforgettable. His boldness, humor, and willingness to stand out cemented his place as one of reggae's most distinctive figures. Decline and struggles. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Eek-A-Mouse's career started to slow down. The music scene was changing, and dancehall was evolving into a harder, faster style that left some of his playful, melodic singjay tracks behind. While his early eccentricity had helped him stand out, newer artists with a rougher edge began dominating the charts and clubs. Part of the struggle came from shifting public tastes. Eek's unique vocal style, once seen as innovative and fun, started to feel out of step with the harder-edged dancehall that was gaining popularity. Audiences who loved the wild, whimsical Eek-A-Mouse of the early 1980s were smaller than the growing crowd drawn to new stars with more aggressive sounds. Another challenge involved his personal life. There are reports that he faced legal issues, including arrests in the United States. These incidents affected his ability to tour internationally and hurt his professional reputation. While he remained beloved by many fans, promoters sometimes hesitated to book him, fearing unpredictability or complications with travel. Financial struggles also played a role. Like many artists of his era, Eek did not always have strong management or support systems in place. Revenue from albums, performances, and royalties could be inconsistent, especially as the industry shifted toward digital and international markets. This left him in a position where maintaining the high-energy lifestyle of touring and performing became difficult. Eek-A-Mouse also faced health concerns. Years of performing with an intense stage presence and traveling internationally took a toll on his physical well-being. While he never fully stepped away from music, these challenges contributed to a decrease in productivity and public appearances. In addition, controversies from earlier in his career continued to influence public perception. His eccentric behavior, once seen as charming and entertaining, sometimes caused industry insiders to label him as unreliable. This affected opportunities for collaboration and promotion, further contributing to his decline in visibility. Despite these obstacles, Eek-A-Mouse never completely disappeared. He continued to perform for loyal fans, release music independently, and occasionally make international appearances. But the peak career momentum of the 1980s proved difficult to regain, and his influence was largely overshadowed by newer generations of dancehall and reggae artists. It's important to note that the struggles of Eek-A-Mouse are not unusual for pioneering artists. Innovators often face challenges when the musical landscape changes. His early eccentricity, which made him unforgettable, became both a blessing and a limitation as tastes evolved. While some critics dismissed him during this period, dedicated fans still celebrated his contributions and style. In summary, Eek-A-Mouse's decline was the result of multiple factors: changing musical trends, personal and legal issues, health concerns, financial instability, and lingering industry skepticism. Yet through it all, he maintained a core of devoted fans and continued to influence reggae music. His struggles highlight the difficulty of sustaining a career after a period of groundbreaking success, but they also underscore the enduring impact of his unique artistry.
Comebacks and later work.
After years of decline, Eek-A-Mouse began making efforts to return to the spotlight. While the 1990s were challenging, he never fully stepped away from music. Loyal fans and reggae enthusiasts continued to follow him, giving him opportunities to stage comebacks and release new work. One of his first significant efforts came in the late 1990s. He started performing at international reggae festivals, tapping into nostalgia for his early hits. These shows often included his classic tracks like Wa Do Dem, Ganja Smuggling, and Wild Like a Tiger, which reminded audiences why he had become a reggae icon in the first place. Performing these crowd favorites rekindled interest in his unique style and brought him back to the attention of both old and new fans. In the 2000s, Eek-A-Mouse recorded several albums and singles that attempted to balance his signature singjay sound with contemporary reggae and dancehall trends. While he did not return to the commercial peak of the 1980s, these projects were well received by dedicated fans and helped sustain his career. He occasionally collaborated with younger artists, bridging the gap between classic reggae and modern interpretations of the genre. Tours continued, though on a smaller scale. Eek-A-Mouse performed at festivals in Europe, the Caribbean, and North America. These appearances were often billed as special events for fans to see the artist who had influenced generations. Even with fewer performances than during his prime, the energy and unpredictability of his shows remained, maintaining his reputation as a dynamic live performer. In 2013, the release of compilations such as Eek-ology brought renewed attention to his legacy. Collections of his hits and rare tracks introduced new audiences to his work and reminded longtime fans of his innovative style. These releases demonstrated that even decades later, Eek-A-Mouse's music could still resonate. In addition to recorded work, Eek remained an influential figure behind the scenes. Aspiring reggae artists often cited him as a key inspiration, particularly for his experimental singjay techniques. His vocal improvisation and stage presence became a blueprint for artists looking to blend melody and toasting in original ways. Despite ongoing challenges, Eek-A-Mouse's comebacks proved his resilience. Financial and personal struggles did not prevent him from performing, releasing music, and maintaining relevance within reggae circles. He adapted to changing industry conditions while staying true to the elements that made him distinct: humor, eccentricity, and the ability to entertain. Ultimately, these later years reinforced his status as a reggae pioneer. Even without topping charts or dominating mainstream airwaves, he remained a respected and influential figure. His comebacks reminded the world that longevity in music is not only measured by chart success, but also by lasting impact and continued creative output. In short, Eek-A-Mouse's later work shows a combination of persistence, creativity, and connection to his fanbase. He may not have reclaimed his 1980s fame, but he solidified his legacy, proving that an innovative and unique artist can endure even through changing times. His comebacks and later projects ensured that his voice and style continued to inspire new generations of reggae fans and performers. Legacy and influence. Eek-A-Mouse is widely recognized as one of reggae's most distinctive and influential figures. His contribution to the singjay style, a blend of melodic singing and rhythmic DJ chanting, set him apart from other artists and helped shape the direction of reggae music in the 1980s and beyond. His vocal techniques were groundbreaking. That playful improvisational style, the biddy bong bong scatting, became his signature and inspired other musicians to experiment with voice as an instrument. Singers and DJs alike have acknowledged how his approach expanded what was possible in reggae. His eccentricity on stage demonstrated that performance could be as creative and entertaining as the music itself. Eek-A-Mouse's influence reaches beyond reggae. Artists in hip-hop, dancehall, and even electronic music have cited him as an inspiration for using the voice in inventive ways. Some beatboxers and vocal improvisers look to his scatting and rhythmic phrasing as a blueprint for blending melody with rhythm. His work illustrates that an artist does not need to conform to mainstream expectations to leave a lasting impact. Beyond technique, he influenced fashion and stage presence in reggae. His bold outfits, theatrical gestures, and playful persona challenged norms and encouraged other performers to embrace individuality. Eek-A-Mouse showed that eccentricity could be a strength, creating a memorable image that reinforced his music's uniqueness. Even decades after his peak, compilations like Eek-ology continue to introduce new generations to his music. His early hits still appear in discussions of classic reggae, and his style remains a reference point for anyone studying the evolution of DJ and singjay techniques. Festivals around the world still book him for performances, testifying to his enduring appeal. His legacy is also preserved through the artists he inspired. Many modern reggae and dancehall performers, both in Jamaica and internationally, cite him as a formative influence. His willingness to experiment with rhythm, melody, and vocal delivery encouraged others to push boundaries. Without him, the singjay style may not have developed as it did, and the playful, inventive side of reggae might have been less prominent. Culturally, he embodies the idea that individuality and creativity are vital in music. He faced criticism, changing trends, and personal struggles, yet his work remains iconic. His legacy proves that lasting influence is not measured solely by chart success, but by innovation, courage, and the ability to connect with audiences on multiple levels. In short, Eek-A-Mouse's influence can be felt in his vocal innovations, his stage presence, and the generations of musicians who followed his lead. His playful eccentricity, inventive techniques, and bold personality ensured that he would not only be remembered as a reggae artist, but as a pioneer whose creativity pushed the genre forward. His contributions to music and culture make him a figure whose impact continues to resonate today. Current status and where he is now. Today, Eek-A-Mouse is still active, though his presence is much quieter than during his peak. He no longer dominates international charts, but he maintains a loyal fan base that appreciates both his classic hits and his continued performances. His current work reflects the journey of a musician who has endured decades in a competitive industry while staying true to his unique style. In recent years, Eek-A-Mouse has focused on live performances at reggae festivals and special events. These shows often serve as nostalgic trips for fans who grew up with his music, and as introductions for younger listeners. He performs his classic hits, but he also experiments with new material, keeping a connection to the evolving music scene while honoring his legacy. Despite health challenges and the demands of touring, he has shown resilience. He continues to adapt his performances, sometimes simplifying his stage presence while still delivering the vocal quirks and energy that made him unforgettable. Fans describe his recent performances as engaging and entertaining, proving that he still commands attention when he steps on stage. In terms of recordings, Eek-A-Mouse has occasionally released new material, though the volume is far less than during his earlier years. These releases demonstrate that he still has a creative spark and a desire to contribute to reggae music. While not mainstream hits, they reinforce his status as a veteran artist who refuses to fade quietly into history. His presence online has grown in recent years, with social media platforms and streaming services helping him connect with fans worldwide. Younger listeners can discover his catalog on digital platforms, while longtime fans can relive the hits of the 1980s and 1990s. This digital presence has introduced him to audiences who may not have experienced his peak career firsthand. Eek-A-Mouse's current status also includes mentoring and influencing new artists. Many performers in reggae and dancehall acknowledge him as an inspiration, particularly for his pioneering singjay style. Even if he is not producing hits at the same pace, his influence persists in the techniques and performances of others. In interviews, he reflects on his career with a mix of humor and humility. He acknowledges past controversies and struggles, but he emphasizes the importance of creativity, individuality, and connecting with fans. His perspective offers insight into the life of a performer who has experienced both fame and the challenges that come with longevity in the music industry. In short, Eek-A-Mouse today is a living legend in reggae. While his career has slowed compared to his peak years, he remains an active, influential, and respected figure. His performances, recordings, and ongoing impact demonstrate that a musician's contribution is not measured solely by commercial success, but by the lasting mark left on the genre and the generations of artists who follow. Eek-A-Mouse's current journey reflects the balance of legacy and persistence. He may not dominate the airwaves, but he continues to embody the creativity, eccentricity, and charm that made him a standout in reggae history. So, what happened to Eek-A-Mouse? Once a wild, unforgettable figure in reggae, he took the 1980s by storm with his eccentric singjay style, biddy bong bong scatting, and outrageous stage presence. From major hits like Wado Dem and Ganja, smuggling to sold-out international tours, he seemed unstoppable. But fast forward a few decades, and his name isn't in the mainstream spotlight like it once was. In this video, we're breaking down his rise, peak, controversies, struggles, comebacks, and where he is today. Stick around, because Eek-A-Mouse's story is as colorful as his music.